Director at Bede Summer School.
I'm Danny. I'm the Assistant Director as well.
So we really appreciate you joining. It's going to be brilliant to focus on our youngest centre and our oldest centre today. Both fantastic locations that we're really excited to be bringing back for 2022. Just as an introduction, this year at Bede Summer School, we're going to be running 5 centres. We operate 6 different courses of them. We have 5 different exam courses, and we are in our 30th year of excellence. We have, in a regular year, over 50 different nationalities, as well as 20% language caps. And again, we're a fully accredited market-leading provider. So welcome to Bede's Eastbourne. Danny's just going to introduce the centre and tell you a little bit about some of the key facts of the centre.
Yes, so at Eastbourne we have our Little Explorers course. So this is our youngest course that we offer, and as you can see from the screen, we run for years age group 6 to 11, so quite young children here. And all of our centres this year, apart from one, are operating for a 6-week period. And that period really begins on the 3rd of July. Eastbourne is a beautiful location, actually, as you can see from the picture. It's one of our own schools, and it's located on the beach in Eastbourne. So we utilise the area as much as we can during the summer as well. So we can get down to the beach, we can use the beach and have beach school as well. In terms of the size that we have residentially, we'd have around sort of an allocation of around 60 beds there. And that's split into 2 different boarding houses. We have a male house and a female house, Meads End and Downs House as well. The class sizes are actually quite small, the smallest that we offer out of all of our centres. And the class sizes will be a maximum of 10 students per teacher. And of course, when we talk about the accommodation, the bedrooms, you're looking between 4 and 8 beds in a room, which is obviously great for the students because it means that they can interact with each other from all different sort of nationalities as well. Our staff to student ratio is obviously very small as well, because we'll have 1 staff member for around 3 students. And what's great about this site is that we offer both a residential program, we offer a day program as well, which is obviously great because of, again, being for the younger students. Some parents aren't quite ready to send their children, all the way to England, so they can come over and just do a day program. And we actually do a parent program here as well. So if the parents want to do a few English lessons, they're more than welcome to sign up as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we're really blessed and with Eastbourne, and obviously being one of our own Bede schools, and the prep school dating back to the 19th century, as you may have seen from the last slide. It was very difficult to pick, which facilities we were going to focus on. But even though the school doesn't look that big from the outside, we've got a fantastic drama theatre and dance studio, which you can see here. You may have seen that dominates a lot of the pictures, the AstroTurf playground. So it's really important, for the youngest kids that, not just in organised activity times, but when they get their little break times between lessons, whilst we think they want to relax, if they're anything, like myself at that age, and I'm sure like Danny's kids, they'll be running around like nutters on the playground. The indoor swimming pool is a brilliant part of what we do and what we're able to offer. We also offer this giant double sports hall, which you can see from some of the orientation pictures, which is doesn't dominate the coastline and still allows the site to be very attractive. That even has a little climbing wall inside as well. Being a school with fantastic sports facilities, we also have sports fields, and recently they've added a garden, and we've already mentioned about access to the beach, which is a really key selling point and something that not a lot of schools are able to offer. I think it will come up on a future slide as well, but the classrooms with their sort of all down the beach and coastal views, as well as seeing the town of Eastbourne, are just absolutely stunning. And we're really lucky that we've got the national park on one side and the town and the beach on the other side. So it's a beautiful part of the town in a beautiful part of the country.
What's great about Eastbourne as well, and being one of Bede's schools, is that it's hugely secure as well. So even you've got the accommodation, which is secure, and the actual main school as well, which is secure. So all students, when they arrive, they get one of these, which is a Salto card. And actually, it means that they can't just wander out onto the street or anything like that, because the site is all very much secure, and from our perspective, it's perfect for that age range. And as I mentioned earlier, with the accommodation, we've got 2 boarding houses, Meads End and Downs House. Downs House we tend to use for the boys, and Meads End for the girls. And again, it's very much split into different levels within that group as well, or within the house, I should say. So when we split the bedrooms up, they're done by nationality, as well as the age range of the student as well. Beds can, as I mentioned, can range between 4 and 8 beds in a room as well. And they're beautiful bedrooms because they overlook the seafront as well.
And I think it's really important that they actually have that homely feel, which is trying to get that home away from home for students as well. Alicia, could I ask you just to click hide on that little icon? Is that okay?
Yeah. So with our academic programme at Eastbourne, we offer 17.5 hours of English lessons per week. And with all of our sites, actually, the programmes that we put on at each site are very much tailored to that site. So the academic programme that we've got here is, again, very much tailored to the age range of the students. So in terms of academics, it's split into 3 types of lessons. We've got your English skills, your story time, and your explorations, I should say. And English skills very much is your focus on your reading, writing, speaking element, and it's obviously very much communicative based, where story time gives the students a chance to tell the others of kind of any stories that they've had, or fictional stories that they can produce in front of the class. And it really helps build their confidence. With explorations, it's a CLIL-based lesson, which is basically content language integrated learning. And it means that basically they're learning through a subject, which can be science, technology, many different sort of elements that the teacher will pick, because actually it's really good for them to kind of learn through a subject. It helps them pick up sort of elements of the English language quicker. Okay.
And I think just to focus that little bit on the nationality mix at the school, you might have seen, no, it's okay. We had China as the dominant nationality. This did represent the cumulative bookings across the last time we operated seasons. So we are very careful to make sure that we have a brilliant nationality mix that's actually based on spoken language as well. So we don't hide behind, a lot of Swiss or French speaking the same language, or Austrian and German, for example. And I think we've already got a really pleasing amount of, wide-ranging enrolments into Eastbourne this year. Obviously, not so much of the Chinese market, so it's really allowing us to have a European feel, but with a lot of other markets beginning to come in. Now, with the social program, obviously we try and tailor this as much as possible with everything we do to the age range that students have. We have a really wide range on offer every single day. So, trying to focus on our creative and interactive as well as sporting activities that are done with our really, really tight ratios and our excellent staff as well. So we make the most of all of the facilities. Being our school, there's no need to book certain things, no other people to work around. If we see that there's a little bit of rain forecast, we'll make sure that we're utilising the drama studio and that we're using our own activity leaders who are, trained as lifeguards as well, to put on fun swimming activities, for example. We really try to make the most of this to offer a huge diverse range so that on any given day, students with those different levels of interests are able to have something that is for them as well. In terms of the evenings, when we have our social events, again, it's a little bit of a continuation of this. Students will be, there's a real emphasis on fun and being a tight age range, from 6 to 11. We try and make sure that students, where possible, are divided up in kind of a 6 to 8 bracket and a 9 to 11, depending on the maturity levels and what the activity is. But really, it's just about making sure that students are having fun and, wherever possible, also integrating as much learning, outside of the classroom as possible. With our Little Explorers program, as with our other boarding school programs, we offer, a good number of excursions, and these are, a curated mix for the age range we have, where we look to basically strike a really, really good balance between cultural, historic, and amusement value for the students, because we know that being sort of primary school age students, they're not going to want to be dragged around museums, but we also know that the parents might not be too impressed if they only go to amusement or theme parks for 2 weeks. So we always guarantee a London sightseeing tour. I don't know if anyone's seen the sort of relaunched new and improved Big Ben now, but we're really excited for students to be snapping that on their excursions. Again, being a younger age range, we've got our extremely tight ratios so that our fully trained activity staff will be with students every step of the way on our Little Explorers program. So we have our Wednesday half-day excursions, which could be things like farms, forests, forts, age-appropriate museums, or even fun things like the pier or trampolining. When we go to London on Saturdays, if it's not the sightseeing, it will be something like the zoo, Kidzania, or potentially even Legoland Windsor. And then we tend to keep it a little bit more local for Sundays and take in some of the attractions around our coastal cities, such as Brighton, Hastings, or local amusements as well.
And also, just on the excursions, what we tend to do, we tend to have them on a 3-year rolling rota. So it means that if a student is coming back the following year and they happen to be going back to the same centre, they would never have the same excursion again, which we find really important because of, if they've done the London Eye, they may not be necessarily interested in doing that, the second time. So it just gives them, again, different opportunities that if they were to come back the following year as well. Okay, so with our academies, these are optional and they're by no means anything that you need to sign up for. But if a student would like to have more specialist training, or in one of our academies, we offer these. So we offer Eastbourne animal management, film and animation, football skills, horse riding, and swimming. And for a supplement amount, they can sign up for one of these academies, which replaces the activities in the afternoon. And for animal management, for instance, we have a zoo where we're based here at Dicker at the senior school, and we bring the students up and they get to learn how to take care of the various animals we have at this school. And here we've got squirrel monkeys,
binturongs, yeah. So over 70 different species, including reptiles, and we've got very hands-on Bede's zookeepers that will get involved and show students how we look after them and learn a bit of basic biology along the way as well.
So these are very much specialist academies. If they really want to take their kind of experience to the next level, we would recommend one of these that we offer.
And I think sometimes it can be done, with our academies on an interest or a pursuit, but sometimes it's about trying something new. And I think for animal management or film and animation, that's perfect. Maybe even the student's a keen horse rider from a young age, or with swimming, maybe their parents see that there's a summer holiday coming on, later, and they'd like to improve their level as well. And having our pool on site and trained teachers that work with the school year round, we're able to offer that. And it's just a great small supplement to their package.
Okay, as I kind of mentioned earlier, not all children are ready for that kind of residential program yet. So at Eastbourne, we do offer a day program where the students can be dropped off in the morning at 8:30, and then they're picked up again at 5 in the afternoon. And as I say, it can be a good sort of transition for them prior to them sort of wanting to take that full kind of residential experience. And if even if they want to do a day program for 1 week and have that experience, and then move to a residential for the following week, that's absolutely no problem at all. Because of, as I say, I've got young children, and that kind of being 6 years old potentially, and sort of having that sort of residential experience away from home can be quite nerve-wracking. I know my children would struggle, I think, to begin with, but as I say, it's kind of that stepping stone, and we're here to kind of help them sort of take that next step. And this really offers that kind of allowance. And again, if they want to get involved in the excursions at the weekend, that's something that you can let us know, and we can sign them up for that should they wish to go.
I think it's also a key selling point that if you've got parents who are looking to come to the UK with maybe a high level of English, will come to the parent programme. But it's an absolutely brilliant way for them to have some time with their children. It's sort of in the evenings and enjoy the delights of a really quaint and safe seaside English town like Eastbourne, but without actually having to spend all of the time with them. And obviously the students get a huge amount out of it with the nationality mix, with the lessons, the activities and everything else that we offer.
Do you want to do holiday club or parent? Okay. Yeah. So just going back to the parent program. So we offer a varying sort of levels of parent program here. We can offer sort of just one-to-one English lessons. So if a parent wants to come over and just improve their English slightly, we do sort of one-to-ones, which are paid at an hourly rate, or you can do a group lesson, which is again potentially 15 hours of English per week. And it's again, it's a good way. It's kind of like a family course in this way. And the students then like to see their parents also at the school, sort of taking in kind of the lessons that and the kind of program they were putting on. And that in previous summers has been incredibly popular, actually.
Our final point on Eastbourne, because I think we need to hurry up a little bit, is that last year we launched the Bede Holiday Club. So in a year in which there wasn't a huge amount of travel, we looked at what we could do and the need of our Bede's community. Now we've got so many, 280 lovely students who attend Bede's from 7 months old in the nursery right up to 14 years. Now we're looking at roughly the same age group as Little Explorers, so we'll be actually doing about 5 to 12 or 13 this year, but it's a brilliant way for us to deliver activities and a childcare service to our local community. But also it means that when we offer activities, when students are sitting down for lunch and playing at break time, that we're getting that language integration into what we do as well. And I think it really will set us apart from a lot of early years providers, that this is something we're able to do at our own premises as well. So we don't know the exact numbers, but we'd expect there to be about 30 students or 30 children from the local area getting involved and helping our students get a little bit more out of their course as well. Perfect. So we've got the illustration of the typical day, which you would see in our prospectus. Now we move on to a completely different type of course. So we have our Pathways to Higher Education. This is based at Brighton at the University of Sussex. So a Russell Group institution based in the absolutely phenomenal South Downs National Park. It actually has a beautiful park. I actually walked my dog there on Monday. Next to it called Stanmer Park. So we've got access to all that amazing wildlife. We're really lucky that the home of the mighty Brighton Hove Albion sits just across the road under a nice safe passageway. So we'll see if we can get students to any games there. But we've also got the advantage of a train line straight into the city in about 5 or 10 minutes as well, which we'll come to as we speak to about the social programme. Now, this course is for 15 to 20-year-olds, and it really is about that transition to higher education. So we run, again, for 6 weeks, and it's a much, well, in some ways, similar size course, actually. We have a maximum capacity of 80, but again, we offer a lot more lessons here. So it's 25 hours per week with a minimum level of B1. We have a maximum class size of 14, but generally speaking, between our abilities and language caps and everything else, we have a maximum class size of 14, but it averages out somewhere between 10 and 12. So a lot of time per student. Brilliant. So at the University of Sussex, it's a really modern campus. It's got a huge amount of space, and the university have ploughed a huge amount of money into it. So we're really lucky that on site, we've got various eateries and cafes, an IT centre. There's a supermarket in the building, actually, where we have our catering, or the majority of the catering, and our lessons and offices, pharmacy, bars, post office, ATM, a sports centre, and again, as I mentioned a second ago, the bus and train services to the city. Now, where we're really lucky at Brighton is that, again, it's about preparing students for being a little bit older. And it's the only one of our courses where students don't go to the canteen to take their meals. They have a credit card style Munch card, it's called. They get £23, which is actually £1 more than we published in our prospectus this year. Allowance, where they are able to take, what they want and when they want, arranging with their friends that they've just made to get, a huge amount of fair trade, hot and cold food, coffees, snacks, drinks. And, I think it's a really great way for them to get that independence. And then for those parents who might be a little bit concerned as well, we still have our daily meetings to make sure that their nutritional needs are being met.
Okay, so new accommodation for us at this site. So they have recently built a huge new accommodation complex, and we're lucky enough to have been sort of given a part of it. So we're going to be based at East Slope this year, and actually we popped over there last week just to have a look, make sure it's kind of up to Bede standards, and I'm pleased to say it was. It's outstanding accommodation actually. So very safe. All accommodation is again kind of Salto activated, so no one can just walk into the accommodation. Rooms and the kitchen areas are very light and very airy, so you can
social as well, I think,
hugely. So everyone in kind of their own block can meet in the kitchen, and there's plenty of room for them to socialize and get to know each other. And within each block, there's 6 to 8 rooms, but obviously every room is a single ensuite, which is, again, perfect for that age range of student, which is obviously 15 to 20 years old. Anything?
No, I think just to say they've actually been nice enough to make slightly bigger beds as well, so students will benefit from not just being in a single. It's not a double in the sense that there's 2 beds in there. It's just a much bigger room. And the last illustration as well shows a beanbag. Something myself and Danny saw on a lovely spring day was all of the students enjoying the grass areas outside. Catching some rays in between their sort of lectures and seminars as well, which was, really nice to see actually how that's used and how our students can enjoy it as well. The flats also feature a little study room as well. So students that maybe want to go and, prepare something for one of their lessons or, converse with their students who are the ones that are not socializing in the flat, it gives them a brilliant opportunity to do that. Last thing on the accommodation as well, that we're actually right in the heart of the campus. And if you saw the photo, and anyone who's familiar with the site knows that it's actually a really big campus. So no sort of 15-minute walks down to the areas that we use.
Yeah, the way we're using that site really kind of works because of everything actually, although it's quite a large campus, the accommodation, all of the classrooms, all of the dining facilities are actually reasonably close together. So like Ryan said, they're not having to sort of walk from one end of the campus to the other just to get from one lesson to the other. So kind of all their time is not sort of wasted kind of on that aspect.
Perfect. So, and when we look at the academic program, again, this is an academic course. There's a lot of other strong selling points for it, but effectively, we look at academic English. So this is 10 hours per week or 2 hours per day. And this is essentially, not only introducing English skills, but the kind of language and skills that students will need for when they're in an academic setting. So everything from, debate, certain types of language and, comprehension of, certain terminology. We then move into the communication skills. So this is 1 hour per day, and this will be focused on, some of the actual communication techniques, for in terms of debates, reasoning, essay writing, critical thinking, all with that sort of English twist to what they will need for, again, higher education. So whether it's students that are looking to study in the UK or abroad, either in English or in a different language, it's reinforcing the type of skills that you need when you make that jump from secondary education to further education. We also have elective pathways. So this makes up 10 hours per week. So we have specialist teachers who will come in and cover business economics, humanities, law and science, so that students that, either want to try out that subject with a view to further study or are definitely wanting to take those options into further studies in UK or foreign universities. It means that they're actually able to get a grasp of exactly that subject and develop it across 10 hours per week, and hopefully on longer stays a lot longer as well. Perfect. So we're really excited by bringing back Brighton. And one of the main reasons we think so is basically when you're dealing with the 15 to 20 age group, and when you've been in summer schools for nearly combined 25 years like we have, sometimes you do find that students think they are a little bit too old and too cool when they're older teenagers for some of the the activities that we put on in our more sort of campus-based schools. Now with Brighton, we take them on social events every single evening. So the students will be getting to grips with Brighton and going to live music, mini golf on the beach, big screen cinema on the beach, art galleries, late night shopping, comedy shows, actually getting them, to go to the kind of events that young adults want to be going to. Again, nice and supervised by our staff. We have different parameters on how we treat 15 to 17 and 18 plus, but again, still making sure that we're checking in and ensuring welfare levels are really high as well. Did you want to talk about this trips a little bit?
Yeah, so the trips that we put on for Brighton are actually really done by speaking to the students themselves as well, because of, again, at that age, that they'll have an idea of what they want to do. And where at the other sites, we have a set kind of excursion plan done for the pupils, and that's what they go off and do. At Brighton, it's a little bit more kind of flexible. As I say, you sit down with the students and we get an idea of really what they want to do, and in a way it helps kind of build the course and tailor it to what their needs are and what they are looking to achieve out of it. So like the other schools, we obviously have the full day on the Saturday and a full day on the Sunday as well. Saturday, we will always, again, try and we will be going to London on the Saturdays. But that, as I say, that will be very much in relation to what the students want to do on that sort of Saturday in London. And again, Sunday, it can be more local, but we will do sort of more sort of further afield things for the Brighton course, because again, taking into consideration the students that we have there, the age range of the students, they will want to kind of experience something that maybe isn't just a little walk along sort of the Cookmere River. It'll be more kind of more substance to it, I think, in some ways.
Perfect. So again, another illustration of the typical day. Now, within what we do, and we've kind of talked through it, we still have our student meetings, and we also give students, after their 5 hours of study per day, we do have a pocket which we either have organised activities which are elective to a certain extent and free time, because we know that students do want to enjoy those beanbags in the sun, and that we do have parameters for looking after them and being aware of what they are up to. But again, it's about striking a brilliant balance between the academic, the relaxing, and then making sure that they've got enough energy to be able to enjoy all of the delights of Brighton. The pier and the pavilion are brilliant attractions, as well as the lanes. And living there myself, I'm extremely partisan, but I definitely wouldn't live anywhere else in the UK. Fantastic. So with our courses, I think a lot of people may already be aware, but it's very much a all-inclusive package. Now, the only thing that's not included are the extra academies or any exam courses. We didn't mention IELTS at Brighton, but we actually have them on for 2 dates. That was a previous version that we forgot to save that got added. We offer return transfers from Gatwick, Heathrow, and for people from France or Belgium or even the Netherlands from King's Cross, St Pancras this year. There's a laundry service included in everything that we do. Again, whether you're in Brighton or Eastbourne or any of our other schools, it's not only full accommodation, but it's meals and snacks included. We'll never ask students to pay extra for excursions. So regardless of whether we take them bowling or laser quests or anything in the evenings, that's part of the package that we put on as a premium provider. We also insist on the highest level academics, which hopefully will be reflected in our British Council accreditation, but it's only qualified teachers, TEFL Q and TEFL I think it is, for our academic managers and senior teachers. And then again, being a year-round trust, we have our own director of safeguarding, we have our own health and wellbeing team, and they will have organised and structured visits to each of the sites to make sure that our compliance levels are incredibly high. As a registered charity ourselves, we do like to give something back, and understanding our role in the climate emergency, we do offset the entire carbon contribution of the course for a project that as a team we picked in Kenya. So we're really excited about calculating all of the flight distances, amount of meals eaten, amount of bus trips, and then making that contribution and hopefully posting about it in August, September time as well, and buying those credits. And for those students that are outside of the EU or require them, we have visa invitation letters as a service from our admissions team as well. Perfect. Well, we really appreciate everyone who took the time to listen to us. As expected, a little bit, we've gone a bit over, but I don't think it's too severe. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for your time. And did anyone have any questions or any comments to make? You may unmute. No? Well, I don't think, has anything come through on yours, Alicia? No, perfect. Well, thank you very much for attending. You've got the email address there if you need to get in touch. You've got all of our contact details are on the website, and we encourage you to get involved with our social channels as well, and look forward to welcoming yourselves to our campuses or your students as well in the near future.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.